Boom or bust? That's what we're going to be talking about on today's show. We're looking at 5 players on the Miami Dolphins roster that could either have an excellent season and boom or be not so good and bust. I'm Nic Rohloff. This is Dolphins Today. Before we get into those 5 players, though, I want to let you know to follow us on Instagram. At Dolphins Today IG is our handle. And if you're looking for more Dolphins content in between the videos we put out on a daily basis, our Instagram is the best place to find that. Photos, questions, minute-long videos as well. So follow us over there, and when we get to 500 followers, we're doing an Instagram-led Q&A. One more time, at Dolphins Today IG is the handle. Go give us a follow. All right, the first candidate that could either boom or bust to me is a no-brainer, and that is offensive lineman Isaiah Wynn, the former first-round pick from the Georgia Bulldogs and started his career with the New England Patriots, is entering his second season as a member of the Miami Dolphins. And last year was a little bit up and down. I thought he was really good in pass coverage, but PFF did not grade them out well in terms of overall and run blocking, but no sacks and 3 penalties is something that I can get behind as well. And I think Wynn is better than what people think. A lot of people are going to say out there he can never stay on the field. Yes, that's true, and there's no denying his long injury history. But when he is on the field, I think he is an above-average offensive lineman. There's a reason why he was a first-round pick out of Georgia in 2018, and he was good for New England for a good portion of the time, and obviously trying to come over to Miami and play guard next to Teron Armstead and Austin Jackson's a little bit of a different story. And the story of his career are those injuries, though. And if you hear gong in the background, our Steelers host is just going absolute nuclear, so I apologize for that. But either way, his entire career, he has failed to play more than 10 games in 4 out of the 5 seasons. That is just not good. Obviously, he had the good year in 21 where he was able to stay on the field, but Miami last year, 7. Year before, 9. First 2, 8 and 10. Like, he just has never been able to stay on the field for the Patriots or the Dolphins. And if he's able to, I think he will be able to boom, which is my prediction. I think, he has had just too many injuries in his career. Isaiah Wynn is due for one season where he is lucky with injuries, and it simply doesn't happen. If he's an injury-prone guy again this year, I think Miami needs to move on after this year, but my prediction, he stays on the field, he plays at least 14 games, and he is an excellent left guard for Miami. Boom! That's what I'm predicting for Isaiah Wynn. But give me your predictions down below. Is Isaiah Wynn going to boom or bust in 2024? Type boom for boom, type bust for bust. Moving on to Cam Smith, the second-year cornerback out of South Carolina, who was drafted pretty highly last season. Top 55 pick, just did not see the field, only played 20 defensive snaps last season under Vic Fangio. And if we're going to be honest here, regardless of what I think he is going to do, which my prediction is coming up in a second, the Dolphins are probably going to need Cam Smith. Because when you think about what the Fins have in the cornerback department, they have an excellent starting cast. Ramsey Fuller, one of, if not the best cornerback duo on the boundary in the NFL. Kader Kohou is another boomer bust candidate, if we're going to be honest. I think is someone going to have a bounce-back year and play well in the nickel. But the depth behind the 2 guys on the outside simply isn't there. Nick Needham and Cam Smith are the first guys up, but they don't instill confidence in me if Ramsey or Fuller were to miss an extended period of time. And my prediction on Cam Smith is a little pessimistic. I'm predicting Cam Smith to bust. But the reason why I'm predicting Cam Smith to bust this upcoming year is actually because of a positive thought. If it's really this simple. If Kendall Fuller and Jalen Ramsey stay on the field and play 15, 16 games, Cam Smith is in for another year where he doesn't see the field defensively, which I'm fine with because I'd like to see Kendall Fuller and Jalen Ramsey stay healthy for a long and good extended period of time. So that's kind of my thing. I'm predicting Ramsey and Fuller stay healthy, which would then lead Cam Smith to not getting a lot of PT, which would mean he's a bust in 24-25 and won't be paying off that second-round pet value. Next is Jordyn Brooks, the linebacker who is joining the Miami Dolphins from the Seattle Seahawks. I always find it funny that Brooks comes from Seattle to Miami. Jerome Baker went from Miami to Seattle. They basically just traded 1-for-1, even though they just signed in free agency each way. Brooks, the former first-round pick out of Texas Tech, is slotted in to be the second linebacker for the Dolphins alongside David Long Jr. He has racked up quite a lot of tackles in his career and is known as a downhill linebacker that carries some thumping ability and run-stuffing ability. He has really never been able to find his footing in terms of being a good pass defender, which is his biggest issue. His career PFF grade in coverage is 43. That is not good. But if you look on the outside of Jordyn Brooks and say, well, if he can improve his pass coverage, he can be an elite linebacker in the NFL due to his size, athleticism, and strength. I agree, which is why in 24-25, I'm going boom. Jordyn Brooks is going to have a good season. Why? I think he's going to get better in pass coverage, but two, I actually don't think he's going to be asked to be a coverage linebacker that often. You have David Long Jr. You brought in Anthony Walker from the Browns, who's already one of the best pass coverage linebackers in the NFL, to be that third guy and sub-linebacker in obvious passing situations. So if Brooks just has to specifically be a downs 1 and 2 linebacker and help in goal line situations and run stopping situations, then I think he is going to be very, very impactful for this Dolphins defense. I love the linebacker room for Miami with Walker, Brooks, and David Long Jr., and I think Brooks is going to have a good year because he's not going to be asked to do everything like he was in Seattle. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. 2 more Boomer Bust candidates to talk about on today's show, but we're covering the Dolphins all throughout the 24 season. Videos every day. We'll be live for every Miami Dolphins game, including the preseason, so hit that sub button. Don't miss a thing. Another Boomer Bust candidate, someone that is also joining the team for the first time, Teair Tart, the defensive lineman who has spent the previous couple seasons with the Tennessee Titans, the Houston Texans, and is looking to find a home now in Miami. But he simply did not have a good 2023 year, bouncing around between the Titans and Texans. He just didn't put up good numbers. And I actually liked what Teair Tart brought to the table for the Titans a couple of years ago. But last season proved that maybe he's on the decline, which is also why I'm giving him a bust potential here. I don't think he's going to boom. And if I'm going to be honest, I think there's a solid chance that he doesn't even make the roster in the 53-man with this team. So he might not even be having a chance to bust in 2024 or 25 because after the signing of Calais Campbell, if he gets beat out by Neville Gallimore or Benito Jones in training camp, which I think is a very possible outcome, well, we'll see a Teair Tart. His strength and conditioning was not up to par, at least in the beginning of offseason programs. Was maybe due to injury, but not the best start in Miami for Tart. What players on the Dolphins roster is most likely to bust? Can't believe Coop let this go through, but we're asking it. What Dolphins player is most likely to bust? Let me know. Maybe it's Braxton Berrios, the wide receiver for Miami, who could be wide receiver 4, he could be wide receiver 5. But the thing that with Braxton Berrios that is very interesting to me is that he is going to have a lot of value on special teams. This is where his calling card is going to be. With the new kickoff rules in place, it feels much more likely that we're going to see a lot more returns and a lot more big plays coming out of the kick return game, where Braxton Berrios was quite effective last season already. So with the new rules tailoring towards returns and giving a chance to get better field position, that's where Braxton Berrios is going to have to come to play. I don't expect him to have a lot of work in the offense per se because, one, he is behind at least Odell Beckham Jr., Tyreek Hill, and Jalen Waddle, and I'm under the belief that 6th-round rookie out of Virginia, Malik Washington, will end up being the main slot guy. Like, if they want a specific slot receiver, I think he'll earn that role over Berrios and be wide receiver 4, which would push Berrios to 5, but there is still that role for him in special teams, which this might be a hot take. I'm going boom for Braxton Berrios. I think he's going to have a couple special kickoff returns this year, and that's my bold prediction. He is going to have 2 2 returns for touchdowns on kickoff returns. It's unlikely you even get one a year as a team. But I'll take 2 from Braxton Berrios as a bold prediction. Let me know your thoughts on that down below. That's going to do it for this show. Make sure you are subscribed. Like I say all the time, we have daily content and coverage of the Dolphins, whether it be the latest news, breaking news, rumors, or fun segments like this where we preview the upcoming year. We have it all. We're a versatile channel, so make sure you hit that sub button. And like always, I'll see you tomorrow with another video. Go Fins.